There's something about the smell of old coffee and the sound of tin cans clinking that takes you straight back in time. Picture a weary soldier huddled under a gray sky, opening a small metal box marked U.S. Army ration. Inside, his lifeline, his dinner, his connection to home. Back then, food wasn't just about flavor. It was about survival, ingenuity, and a little taste of America in the middle of war. Today, we're looking at 15 shocking meals American soldiers ate during World War II. The good, the bad, and the downright strange. 1. Canned ham and eggs. Breakfast from a can. Before the sunrise and the first roll call, soldiers cracked open what looked like a small silver brick. Canned ham and eggs. It wasn't exactly diner-style bacon and eggs, but for a man thousands of miles from home, it did the trick. The eggs were rubbery, the ham salty, and the smell, well, let's just say it lingered. Still, it packed protein and morale in one little tin. It disappeared after the war when fresh supplies became easier to deliver, and maybe because nobody missed it much. 2. Meat and beans, the soldier's stew. If you asked a GI what kept him going, chances are he'd say beans and bullets. Canned meat and beans were hearty, filling, and simple. The beans were mushy, the meat mysterious, but together they warmed cold hands in foxholes from France to the Philippines. It was America's answer to comfort food on the front lines. After the war, this humble mix gave way to hot meals and fresh rations, but it still lives on in every can of pork and beans sold today. 3. Powdered coffee, the taste of home. For many soldiers, mornings began not with a bugle, but with the hiss of instant coffee powder hitting hot water. It was bitter, sharp, and nothing like Mom's percolator back home. But it was coffee, and that meant everything. It gave soldiers a sense of normalcy, a small ritual of home before heading into chaos. After the war, companies improved the formula, and instant coffee became a household staple. 4. Canned spaghetti with meatballs. A little Italy overseas. Yes, it's true. American soldiers ate canned spaghetti and meatballs during the war. Inspired by the comfort foods of home, it was a little taste of Sunday supper in a can. The noodles were soggy, the sauce overly sweet, but it reminded many soldiers of their mother's kitchens. After the war, that same idea evolved into the spaghetti meals we still find in grocery aisles today, just a bit less metallic. 5. D-rations. The chocolate bar that wasn't sweet. At first glance, the D-ration looked like a treat, a chocolate bar, but one bite told a different story. It was dry, bitter, and so hard you could almost use it as a weapon. Designed to survive tropical heat, not delight taste buds, it packed calories for emergencies. Still, soldiers carried them everywhere. It was a symbol of endurance, even if it tasted more like clay than cocoa. 6. Canned chopped ham and eggs. Meatloaf surprise. This one sounds familiar, but its texture was unforgettable, somewhere between scrambled eggs and mystery loaf. It didn't look pretty, but it kept bellies full during long marches. Many soldiers joked that it was eggs that lost a fight. When the war ended, few wanted to see another can of it again, but it served its purpose. Fuel in a tin for men on the move. 7. Hardtack biscuits, the toothbreakers. Straight out of the 19th century, hardtack made a comeback in World War II. These dry, rock-hard biscuits could last for years without spoiling. Soldiers softened them in coffee, soup, or even rainwater, anything to make them edible. It wasn't delicious, but it was dependable. Once fresh bread became possible again, hardtack went back to history's shelf, where it probably still hasn't gone stale. 8. Canned pea soup, the green mystery. In the chill of a European winter, a can of pea soup could feel like a blessing. Thick, salty, and bright green. It wasn't much to look at, but it was warm and filling. For many soldiers, it brought back memories of home kitchens in simpler times. It disappeared from ration kits after the war as the Army sought lighter, more portable meals. But for a brief time, it painted the trenches green. 9. Spam, the king of the field kitchen. Ah, Spam. Love it or hate it, it fed millions. Fried, boiled, or eaten straight from the can, it was the great equalizer of the Allied diet. It became so common that soldiers joked they could build a fort out of empty Spam tins. After the war, Spam stayed behind, finding new life in post-war kitchens around the world, especially in Hawaii and the Pacific. 10. Powdered lemon drink. Lemonade, in name only. This bright yellow powder was supposed to lift spirits and provide a bit of vitamin C. In reality, it tasted like sweetened battery acid. But when your only other option was plain water from a canteen, soldiers mixed it up gladly. It faded after the war when real fruit juice returned, but for a generation of GIs, that sour sip meant they were still alive. 11. Canned stewed beef, a taste of the ranch. Tender wasn't exactly the word, but stewed beef was a rare chance for real meat. Soldiers poured it over biscuits or rice when they could, pretending they were back home at Sunday dinner. The flavor was salty, heavy, and sometimes metallic, but it was meat, and that meant morale. It disappeared after the war when freeze-dried meals replaced bulky cans, but for a while, it was the Army's version of home cooking. 12. Powdered eggs. Breakfast science. Before modern MREs, powdered eggs were the marvel of military food science. Just add water, and you had eggs. Sort of. They were lumpy, rubbery, and often overcooked, but in a pinch, they filled plates and bellies. Powdered eggs paved the way for later rations and even space food. But after the war, soldiers were happy to return to the real thing, fresh from the skillet. 13. Vienna sausages. Tiny tubes of hope. These small canned sausages became a soldier's best friend. Easy to carry, easy to eat, and surprisingly tasty when fried. They were soft, salty, and packed with protein. Soldiers would joke that you could trade a can of Vienna sausages for just about anything. They still exist today, but their wartime popularity has faded, replaced by fresher, fancier snacks. Still, open a can and take a bite, and you can almost hear Glenn Miller playing. 14. B-ration pancakes. The breakfast of tents. When the field kitchens had time, they'd whip up B-ration pancakes. Flour, powdered milk, and eggs mixed into a griddle cake. They were thick, chewy, and soaked up maple syrup packets like sponges. Soldiers called them flapjacks of fortune. They disappeared as ration kits grew more compact, but for a while, they made the mornings on base feel just a little bit like home. 15. Canned fruit cocktail, a sweet reminder of home. At the end of a long march or a hard fight, few things lifted spirits than a can of fruit cocktail. Pineapple, cherries, and syrup, sunshine in a tin. Soldiers saved it for special occasions or to trade for cigarettes. It wasn't just dessert, it was hope. And when the war ended, that same sweetness carried into peacetime America, reminding everyone what they'd fought for. In a world at war, these meals weren't just food. They were a connection to home, a reminder of what waited on the other side. Each can, each powder, each bite told a story of endurance, sacrifice, and simple human need. Today, we might turn our noses up at canned ham and powdered eggs, but for the men who ate them, they were a lifeline. If you enjoyed this trip through the Army's pantry of the past, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, which World War II meal would you be brave enough to try? Because sometimes the strangest foods tell the most human stories. This is Black and White American. Thanks for watching.